Hello. For our design challenge, I chose to focus on enhancing adult astronomy education and increasing awareness of light pollution through augmented reality. To start off, I'd like to describe the instructional problem that I'm addressing through my solution. So the instructional problem is twofold. The first part is based on my research and my own personal experience, I discovered that many adults lack a basic understanding of astronomy. I, for example, never had the opportunity to study astronomy, not throughout elementary, middle school, high school, or college. I grew up in Howard County, Maryland, which is a well-funded school system, but still no astronomy classes were offered, and the extent of my astronomy education was really just looking up at the stars with my parents or the occasional visits to a planetarium. So similarly, many American adults did not have an opportunity to study astronomy as children. And by extension, many adults lack a basic understanding of the stars and by extension, their own place in the universe and even caring about the universe and by extension caring about the environment and preserving the environment. So this connects to the problem of light pollution. So light pollution is pervasive and it continues to worsen. So perhaps this gap has contributed to the lack of awareness and the widespread issue of light pollution. Raising awareness about this issue is crucial for fostering a more informed public that can help reduce light pollution and the associated consequences to the environment, human health, and scientific research. Now that I've established what the instructional problem is, I'd like to present my proposed solution. So my proposed solution to this problem is a simple app that could be targeted to adult learners across the country, specifically those living in and around urban areas where light pollution is at its worst and the night sky is the least visible. For example, even though I live in the suburbs of Fairfax County, about 40 miles away from the major city of Washington, D.C., I've discovered that I can barely see the stars at night from my backyard. So this app would allow someone from anywhere in the country to view the stars regardless of the time of day, the level of light pollution, and the atmospheric conditions. In addition to providing a way to view the stars from anywhere, even where stars wouldn't otherwise be visible, this app will be infused with messaging to increase awareness of light pollution. So the aim and the hope is that by piquing curiosity about the stars and including this messaging to increase awareness, that the user will become more aware of the environmental issue of light pollution and by extension care about it and take personal steps to address it. Very specific tips will be featured to give the tools to the user of how to address this issue at home and in their local community. And the main difference between this app and other similar stargazing apps already on the market is this focus on environmental awareness. How will I create this app? I'll start with my instructional strategy, which will be using a combination of the traditional ADDIE approach with elements borrowed from design thinking. So first, I'll start with an analysis of the problem space and the audience. After that's complete, part of the design and development process will be creating a rapid prototype to test with individual users through user interviews, which will be recorded. After that feedback is collected, I'll cycle back through the design and development process to incorporate additional user-identified features. The design will be user-centered because if the users don't like the product, they're not going to download it and it won't be successful. No one's being forced to use this app as part of a program or another piece of software, so it must be elegant, intuitive, and fun. Implementation will take the form of a beta, and user feedback will continue to be gathered even after implementation to informed, updated releases. I have 5 learning objectives or outcomes that are written using Bloom's taxonomy to build and level. The first one is recall 10 simple ways that you can reduce light pollution around your home. The second one is understand the broader context of the surrounding constellations in our solar system. This gets to helping to increase adult education about astronomy. And then, by extension, understand the connection between light pollution and the visibility of the night sky. So let me get into our light pollution outcomes. Describe the consequences that light pollution poses to the environment, human health, and scientific research. And then finally, create a strategy for reducing light pollution around your home and your local community. That's at the top of the pyramid for really encoding this information. How will this be delivered to my audience? So the intent is for the app to be available on the App Store, either for Apple or Android smart devices on the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store. The application will be designed to be used with either a VR headset or without, although a headset will be good for a fully immersive experience. And this app will be offered for free, without intrusive paywalls, which limits the audience to those who can afford to pay. Pop-up notification features, which I'll show in my prototype coming up next, will be integrated into the content and the whole app design and used to present facts about light pollution in an organic way to raise awareness. Additionally, the application will provide tips for reducing light pollution in and around your home. So another way to deliver this technology is it could be offered as an add-on enhancement if I partnered with another app, for example, like Night Sky, Skyview, or Starwalk, and I could use their astronomy app features, their existing technology, and then the added layer that I could provide with my app would be this light pollution awareness pop-up feature. And now for my prototype, which I'm excited to share. So the prototype displays the spirit of the app, like the look and feel of the app, and really the intent with fun and educational elements blended in order to create an immersive and entertaining experience with learning as a natural byproduct. So features can include, one, the main augmented reality aspect of viewing the stars by your geolocation, regardless of time of day or visibility, light pollution, storms, whatever. Additional features can be name your own star. You can name any undiscovered star out there in the app. Constellations images will be outlined and this will be overlaid, and then when the name of the constellation pops up, that can be linked to an article about the mythology behind the name, the history, more information, so someone can really do a deep dive into learning about different stars and different constellations. And then the light pollution feature is the integration of subtle pop-ups that say, did you know? For example, this one here, did you know that the night sky brightens by almost 10% a year? And then it has a tip, keep blinds and curtains closed at night to preserve the darkness of the night sky. So this is something that anybody can do in their home to help reduce light pollution. You don't have to, even though light pollution is generated in large part by cities, by businesses, etc. This is focused on what can the individual do really to make an impact. And then there's a learn more button where the user can tap and go to a landing page or a microsite that has more information about the environmental impacts of light pollution and how to address it at home and in your community. How will I collect feedback? So I referenced this a little on my instructional strategy slide, but the main way that I'll be collecting feedback from users is by creating a rapid prototype and a minimum viable product, and then testing that prototype with individual user interviews. So I have the steps listed out here. Create the prototype, find volunteers. They need to be representative of the target audience. So adults in and around urban areas. An important step that many people might not realize, I've done user interviews before, you need to provide incentive to participate, because otherwise, unless the person is your friend, and then that could present a conflict of interest, you might not be getting the most accurate data. You may need to provide an incentive for participants to actually give you their time. So, for example, an Amazon gift card. It's important to be prepared with a list of interview questions. Then the interviews can be scheduled, recorded, analyzed, and then conclusions can be drawn from the data, and then that feeds back into the design development cycle of updating the prototype and enhancing your product. How will I assess and evaluate my product? Well, essentially, it will be evaluated by the market and the rate of adoption. So how many App Store downloads does it get? Or am I able to find another app to partner with that's interested enough in the technology to invest in it and want to incorporate it in their own application? Another way to collect feedback and then assess efficacy is to look at the comments on the App Store and the ratings. To gather data in a more focused way, an assessment in the form of a short survey could be emailed to those who have downloaded the app 30 days after download, so they've had an opportunity to try it out. And then I have some examples of survey questions here that really get to, are they using it? What is their general impression? Has their curiosity and interest in the solar system been piqued, and are they more aware of light pollution? Here are my references, and thank you for listening.